Am I the only one that woke up this morning and just kind of went like, wow, did yesterday really happen? I remember like going to bed yesterday or even in the afternoon, I was like, why am I so tired? Like just straight up all the reveals from yesterday's like the product announcement stream and then the actual like Tuesday stream. It was so much information that I feel like my brain just overloaded. I was like, whew, that's a lot. And it feels like, looking at Twitter, it's like there's just so many people going off, going crazy about all the new reveals, like Amon coming back and the reverse units coming back, violin concerts and all that kind of stuff. Shiro, one of the artists for Zero Damage, drew the two raging forms like instantly as well. Gatekeep, Gaslight, Girl Boss, and just all this kind of stuff. Looking at like the rising prices of these like new V-Series cards, chaos memes, and like, Salome fanboyism, etc. I think for those of us that have been playing the game for a long time, this like hype and just in general the whole like, the buzz online about these new sets and about the new cards makes a lot of sense, right? We know why this is hype and why this is so exciting, but I've already seen some of the newer players that came in with Overdress kind of looking at it like, yeah, this, like, I understand that everyone's hype, but like, what's so hype about this, or like they kind of say like, oh yeah, this looks cool, this looks nice and it's exciting, but like, they don't get everything attached to the whole, excitement of this whole thing. And it's kind of unfortunate that they didn't really show anything other than the package illustration for DBT04, because I think like, yeah, it's cool that we're getting a new Verena, but it would have been nice to get a bit more than just that, because I think for yesterday's announcements, like the whole focus of the hype basically just went to the V-Series. And the V-Series is, kind of like the side format now, and Overdress is the main kind of like entry point. And so I can imagine that for a lot of the new players, this might be a little bit confusing. So I wanted to make today's video to give you a little bit of a, I don't know, a chill discussion slash not really lecture on what are reverse units, why is this hype, why is everyone like pogging out of their mind. And hopefully, whether you're a new player, joined recently, or if you're a Zero player, but I feel like Zero players should know what's hype about reverse units, because you play Zero probably because, you got to see them, right? They were literally the meta until very recently, now that the game is in Legion. So maybe not, it doesn't really matter for the Zero kids as much, but let me talk about it anyway. So first things first, what even is a reverse unit and why is it hype? Well, basically, the third season of the original Vanguard anime was called the Link Joker arc, and as most of you know, Link Joker is a clan in Vanguard, which is part of the nation Brand Gate. And essentially when Link Joker first came out, it was kind of like this invader in the lore and also in the anime. And essentially when somebody would fight against a Link Joker user in the anime and lose, they would be turned into a reverse fighter. So basically they're like, whoever they were, their like worst feelings and like personality things, like, traits would come out. They would have these like red marks on their face and stuff like that. And essentially they would just become evil, right? It's kind of like a way to just like see an evil side of a character, and that's really hype. From season 1 of Vanguard, everyone liked to see evil Aichi, and they thought like, oh, it's really cool to see like a good character go bad. And so the third season of the Vanguard anime was basically just that, just a bunch of characters going evil. Now the anime side of things was already quite exciting, right? Because you could never know which character is going to go evil, who's going to have the next like kind of like mini arc around them. It wasn't just the main characters, right? It was also like around Kote, right? The Dimension Police user, who also turned evil and had his own little mini arc, and like it really expanded a lot on a lot of different characters. But in the TCG, this was kind of its own kind of like cultural phenomenon almost, where when Link Joker was first revealed, and actually when Nebula Lord Dragon, which is like one of the first ever Link Joker boss units, was revealed, we already knew about what reverses are, I believe, but everyone thought that Nebula Lord was actually a reverse version of Spectral Duke because it matched up, right? It literally looks like Spectral Duke, but evil, and it kind of matched the description of what a reverse unit is. And so for a lot of people, it was really hyped to see which units would become reversed, because it was just cool to see like your favorite cards and your favorite archetypes, get support by going evil. And while you did have to lock your own units to use their abilities, and that wasn't exactly great in the Link Joker matchup, it was just a really cool thematic kind of feel that added a lot to it. And so basically there was a lot of clans that had reverse units, but then a lot of them also didn't. For example, Genesis never had one because Misaki managed to resist it and therefore never had one. Gold's never had one because that was Aichi's clan, and Aichi of course wasn't reversed because he's the main character and he was the one fighting against all of this. Some characters got reversed and then de-reversed and then had new kind of like boss units, such as, FX Buster went from, reverse to extreme, and we had both kind of versions there. And the entire time that the Link Joker anime was airing, a lot of people were just always thinking, who's going to be next? Like, what's going to be the next reverse? Like, is it going to be Minerva? Is it going to be like a Bermuda reverse? People would make fan art of certain boss units being reversed even after the Link Joker arc ended, because they were like, that would be cool. Like, I'm pretty sure I remember, like, Salome reverse art. I'm pretty sure I remember, like, Mordred reverse art from way back then. I also remember, I think, Labrador reverse art and things like that. So there was a lot of hype around reverse. It was, like, the Break Ride era was basically the peak of Vanguard's popularity in Japan. And so, of course, there was a lot of hype going around for it. And so yesterday's announcement in that the reverse units are coming back, you know, a lot of us actually kind of expected it, because we were thinking, like, what kind of thematic point could the V-Series go into now? Because they've done a lot of the Legions, they've done most of the G boss units, and they've also, like, you know, done most of the stuff from the original series, and like what's remaining, well, reverse units haven't been touched yet, so obviously that's a big thing. They've done the Apostles from G, which is kind of a big similarity to reverse units in that kind of parallel, but, you know, a lot of us were thinking like, okay, they're probably going to do some reverse units, and it might just be the next theme, right? This also invites the idea that Glendios might come back to V Premium as well, just because that was kind of like the main thing that used reverses as a deck itself. But what really made yesterday's announcement even more hype for a lot of people is that they are not just giving reverses, like, you know, reverse remakes of cards that were already reverses, such as Lugia Reverse, which of course is basically, you know, one of the most popular reverses of all time, but they're also willing to look at these what if scenarios and this whole like kind of multiverse idea. And, you know, the V series, let's be honest, is basically, you know, it's nostalgia and fan service, which we like when it's not the main focus, right? Because I'm pretty sure all of us know this, that if this set were to come out, you know, if Overdress didn't exist, people would just go like, okay, this is hype, but like, come on, you know, it's the same reaction we had throughout all of V-Series. But now that this is, you know, secondary to Overdress and it's like a side thing, it works really well as a nostalgia kind of like, you know, fan service set, because we're a lot more excited about it, right? It's a breath of fresh air when you've played too much Overdress to play the V format, and having your favorite units come back is also very exciting. But so the big hype here is that like those what if scenarios like Raging Form or Raging Fall reverse, right? That coming back, or not coming back, but coming out, is a really exciting plot point. And the fact that some clans that had reverses, you know, like Neonectar had Maiden of Venus Trap, who was a reverse for Neonectar that existed, but instead of doing that, they're just doing Cecilia reverse. So they're willing to take units like from clans that already had reverses and give them different reverses. So that means, like, for example, I'm not the biggest fan of Ashley from the Jewel Knights, you know, which is a Royal Paladin archetype, but I really love Salome, and I'm very, very excited by Salome coming back. But there's a chance that when Royals gets their reverse in Clan Collection Volume 5, I guess, because they said that Clan Collection Volume 5 and 6 will have reverses, and all clans should get one reverse throughout these 4 sets. There's a chance that Salome will be the one that gets reversed, which was like a big kind of like fan fiction idea, because people associated Salome more with Corinne rather than Ashley, although Ashley did work lore-wise as well. And so it feels like we're back in 2013, where like everyone changes their like Discord names, you know, where it's like, you know, instead of having like DifferentFight, it's like the Russian Ya as like the reverse R. And, you know, everyone is just back into this phase of like, what's going to be the next reverse? Like, which clan is going to get the reverse? What kind of reverse could they get? You know, what will they do with it? And it's like really exciting to think about that. You know, these sets are going to be coming out throughout 2022. So of course there's still like, you know, 3 months before the year even ends and we get to 2022, but it's like bringing back this whole thought and idea of like, wow, I can't wait to see what kind of reverse units are going to come out. I can imagine for the Overdress players, this might not be like the most exciting thing because you don't have this attachment to these old characters and these old cards, but I'm also working on a video to kind of explain the 3 formats of Vanguard, so that for the people that want to try out the other formats other than the Overdress series, you can actually get into it very easily. Like, it's actually very, very like easy to get into, and the biggest difference is just the lack of the right deck basically in the other formats. But I'll be working on a video like that because I think I've been seeing a lot of the Overdress players looking at the other formats and wanting to get into the hype, because of course with Clan Collection coming out, everyone's playing V, right? And with Premium, the Revival Selection coming out, a lot of people are going to be playing Premium too, and so of course a lot of people want to enjoy the other formats as well, so I'll be working on a video like that for you guys. So yeah, I hope that gives a good enough explanation of why things are so hype. Like, for a lot of people, seeing like Himiko reverse and like Cecilia reverse is just really exciting. Like, that idea that some of these boss units are gonna get reverses is really cool. There's some clans like Gear Chronicle that didn't come out until much later that people are kind of like, what could they even reverse for this, right? So it might just be something like Lost Legend, or they might go the full fanfic route and give us a Chronojet reverse, which of course would be pretty damn hype too. I think generally speaking though, they're probably gonna stick to like units that came out during the Link Joker era or before that to reverse, and they're not gonna really touch on like the units that came out after that, so like such as the G era units units or like the Legion arc units. As cool as it would be to see Gavriel reverse, I guess, I don't really think that's going to be happening. But yeah, so I hope that this gave you a good little insight on what reverse is and why these new reveals are so damn hype and why everyone in the community is losing their minds. There's other pretty hype reveals too. Of course, Amon coming back is like, I personally don't really care too much, but it's just been this thing where everyone thought that Amon would never come back in the V series because of like some issues with the artist or something. I can't really remember what exactly it was, but it was something along those lines. And of course, fan favorites like Salome coming back, that's a huge plus to me as well. You know, being able to play Jewel Knights on their own again is going to be very exciting. But yeah, that's today's video. I just wanted to give you guys a bit of an insight on why things are so exciting right now and why these new clan collections are looking so damn hype. There's definitely a lot of things to be excited about for Vanguard, especially with set 3 forward that's coming out in just a bit over a week, I think, in Japanese. And so we're going to be getting the set list pretty soon too, so it's going to be exciting to see how that impacts the meta there. And of course, V Clan Collection 3 and 4 recently, oh no, 1 and 2 rather, just came out, and so it's also really hyped to be playtesting V format as well. And there's Revival Selection coming out next week for premium, so it's going to be easier to build premium decks. So overall, it's a very good time to be a Vanguard player, and it's definitely very exciting. But anyway, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, leave it a like, and if you do like the content, please do consider subscribing as well, because it does help a lot. If you also need to get any cards, go to parkage.com, link in the description, and use the discount code for 5% off. That's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.